We're here at Retrofit stores in Atlanta. Matt's going to show us his collection.
All right, let's check it out.
Cool.
Let's start.
Start off with that thing over there. What is that?
So this thing actually started my collection. This isn't even my car. This is Nate's car here at TRS. It's a 05 competition package, E46 M3. A couple minor adjustments we made to the car, including a quad retrofit. Much better lighting, of course, from the front end. Looks pretty sweet too. Daily driver right here. This car is 2015 Range Rover Sport. It's a supercharged V8. It's what I drive every day. 630 horsepower in that thing, and as a daily driver, of course, it's only appropriate for it to be filthy dirty and car seat in the back, right?
Cool.
Looking over here, another E46 M3. This car is also owned by Nate, who's our COO here. Bought it as a race car. The thing was wrecked. About $4,000 for that thing. We take it to Road Atlanta and some of the other tracks here in Atlanta and just have some fun with it. It's on R888 Toyos, appropriate for the task, of course. Next, 1997 Acura NSX T. This is a very rare car. They only made, I think, about 23 of them in white. So it's kind of a unicorn. It's got a bunch of OEM NSX type R parts on it, which is not easy to come by, including the hood, the Recaro seats, which I'll show you, they're pretty sweet. These are actually carbon Kevlar seats. Again, OEM NSX type R, including the steering wheel, shift knob, gauge cluster. Again, 97 Porsche 993 Turbo, classic air-cooled car, turbo. It is a real turbo car. It's got a GT2 conversion on it, so it's got a little bit of an extra wide body compared to the factory turbo, but a little bit more of an aggressive look. It is not an RWB car, so don't confuse that. But I do love the thing, and it is super fast, especially when the boost hits. It's pretty insane. It's almost about 450, almost 500 horsepower in that thing. 6-speed manual, of course. My all-time favorite, 97 Ferrari 355, 6-speed. It's a super high compression V8, revs to over 8,000 RPM, and it sounds insane. Don't have any cats on it. Aftermarket exhaust, aftermarket headers, aftermarket intake, lower, bigger brakes. Period correct car. Try to keep it as much as possible. Got this thing on R888 Toyos, since I do take it to the track every now and then. Super sticky. Necessary because it has no traction control or ABS. This thing, also 97. We have a little bit of a theme going on here, right? I grew up in the 90s, so it's appropriate. Viper GTS, 9,000 miles on this car. Bought it last year out of a collector out of this garage in Chicago. Only did a couple things to it when I bought it. The stock ride height was more like a minivan, so I did lower a little bit on coilovers. Rotiform wheels, Toyo Proxies, T1 Sport tires. Love it. Rides really well, much better than stock. At this point, 8.4 liter V10, 6-speed manual, can't go wrong there, except if you're considering gas mileage, but I'll live with it.
Yeah.
This is more of a pile of parts than it is right now a car. It's a 2002 Lotus Esprit, twin turbo V8, one of 100 25th anniversary edition cars that they made in 2002, so it's also a pretty rare bird. It hasn't been driven really in the last 10 years. I bought it off a collector car dealership in Pennsylvania back in November, and it's been sitting on our lift here in the shop basically ever since then. We're replacing all kinds of rubber parts on it, hoses, belts, suspension parts, just putting it back to the way it was from the factory. A little bit better, obviously, too. So I really personally enjoy cars from that era, the mid-90s, early 2000s, just because I love, driving a manual. I love the classic feel of the car, the way they sound, the lack of all the electronic interfaces and all that stuff that just kind of gets in the way of, between you and the car.